I will say we are some lucky guys. I think this is the second or third straight week that whenever we have a show on Tuesdays, always breaking news comes out. Um,
I
and
think we should
yeah,
talk about how no breaking news came out when we're on.
yeah, like honestly, like usually when we have a show, right, we always start like, well, if our Giants lose, we start out depressed and everything. Well, I do, I will say, but not today, as some breaking news came out of the NFL, and we will get right into it. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Third and 10 podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Nguyen, joined by my guy, Brian Germinaro. Brian, happy Tuesday to you. Um, I will ask you how you're doing, but I'd rather just get into the breaking news first and then ask you how you're doing because a certain team did disappoint us on Sunday night. So let's just get right to the news, and then we'll go
hmm
from there. Devontae
Let's
Adams
dive
has
right in.
Devontae Adams has officially been traded from the Las Vegas Raiders. It is a third round pick that the Raiders will be getting back. That can turn into a second rounder, depending on Devontae Adams' performance with the New York Jets. Why is this relevant for those of you who've been living under a rock? Devontae Adams was teammates with Aaron Rodgers not too long ago. It maybe like a few years since they teamed up together in Green Bay, and now they are together again as teammates. This is the second time Devontae Adams has been traded to a former teammate of his. The first time was with the Raiders when Adams joined Derek Carr for 1 year before Carr himself was let go and signed with the New Orleans Saints. Brian, your thoughts on this? Is a big trade, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh, Less than 24 hours after the Jets lost to the Bills on national TV. So your thoughts on
yeah.
this, my guy?
It's a big trade, but like it was also expected. Like it was like kind of the worst kept secret that like Devonte Adams was going. Like I was on the phone with my friend the other day, and he's like, "What's a big trade you're expecting?" I'm like, "Well, like the biggest trade would be if Devonte Adams doesn't go to the New York Jets because like it was just the writing was on the wall." But for me, this signals more of the Raiders are officially done. They're officially embracing the rebuild. Devonte Adams, like they have guys like Max Crosby and stuff, but like different. Vontae Adams was their biggest piece that could be moved, and he finally has moved. So now this is the Raiders transitioning to the next era, going to fully focus on rebuilding this team, and it's going to take a few years for them. But as for the Jets, this is that. Like I said, they have a short window and they need to capitalize on it. And Wilson and Rodgers hasn't been working out the way I think the Jets have hoped. He's kind of seemed more comfortable throwing Alan Lazard. So getting a guy like Adams, who can be a top five receiver in this league and has some experience with Rodgers in the past, is what the Jets hope jumpstarts this offense and gets them over that hump where they can beat teams like the Bills or the Chiefs or the Ravens.
Yeah, and this just adds on to the number of moves that the Jets have made to try to improve their roster in the past recent, this past offseason, I should say. We saw them get Mike Williams. They drafted Malachi Corley, right? They had Garrett Wilson. They just needed Aaron Rodgers to be healthy, or that's what they all thought, of course. And they entered this season, just kind of stumbled out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Saleh fired last week, and Nathaniel Hackett stripped of his play calling duties. It's just like,
I think that was the most surprising part because I think everyone expected him to be the head coach with how
yeah,
like him and Rodgers are kind of buddy buddy, but the fact that they stripped Hackett of power kind of shows that Rodgers might not have control or might not be pulling the strings as much as we all think he is.
yeah. So, I mean, look, I understand this Jets team is trying to win, and it's for obvious reasons, right? This team is they're not their quarterback is very old. He's 40, and he's no Tom Brady. Rogers is, and so that time window, like you mentioned, it's small, and they're trying to capitalize right now. And why not go get Devonte Adams, who you know both Rogers and Adams had great chemistry together when they were together in Green Bay. However, before I want to dive into the Raiders side more in just a bit. But in terms of the Jets, do you feel like this is enough? Can this make them really strong contenders in the AFC again because they are 2-4 right now.
It makes them better. It makes their passing attack more, prolific because now you got to deal with Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, and Lazard's a nice now number 3 guy. Like you have a really good 1-2 punch in that receiving game with Wilson and Adams, and don't forget you have to deal with Brees Hall still. So the Jets have 3 you say top 30 offensive pieces, maybe even top 20. So they're building the team around Rodgers and giving as much talent as possible. I really think this puts the Jets in that upper echelon.
Do you see any negatives with this trade for the Jets possibly?
See it maybe affecting Garrett Wilson a little bit. Instead of him trying to work out with Rodgers, they just bring in Rodgers' best friend. Not his best friend because that's Randall Cobb, but bring in the guy that Rodgers had the most success with throughout his career. It's kind of like, oh, you guys are giving up on me already. What's going on?
Yeah, and
other than that, I don't really see it be too big of a problem. Just some locker room stuff.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yesterday, and honestly, this past couple weeks, Garrett Wilson has been targeted a lot. I think last week was about 22 times. Yesterday against the Bills, he was targeted about 10 times. So 30 plus targets in the past couple weeks. Yes, that definitely shows you're capable of being a wide receiver number 1 if you're Garrett Wilson. But I think for me, it's it doesn't look like they're giving up on him. They're, I guess, as we both know.
Yeah, no, they're not. He's too talented to give up on.
Yeah,
he's proven already he's good. It's just not, whatever reason, something's not clicking with Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. And you do whatever it takes to get better, whatever it takes to make your quarterback happy, and shows your quarterback, hey, we are trying to win, we are trying to make moves, and that's what this Devontae Adams trade is for. So, which is great. For the Jets, I'm happy they got Devontae. They're making moves. They're trying to win. They're 2-4. This is a decent move to show the NFL, hey, we're not trying to, just because we have Rodgers back now, we're just trying to get better. And this trade does set him up when Rodgers does. Oh no, Devontae is 30 something, right? So technically, it's not like Adams is a young prospect that
No.
So,
but he'll outlive Rodgers in New York.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying?
Yeah. So whoever that next quarterback is for the Jets, you have Garrett Wilson and Devontae, because Devontae is going to be with the Jets for a while. I doubt he's going to leave after a couple years because.
And that contract, he probably has 3 years at least left on it.
I think last time we spoke about it, it was going to be up in 2026. So it is a couple of years that the Jets will have to pay him.
27, he'll be a UFA.
Beautiful. There you go. So he has
the rest of this year and then 2 more seasons. Actually, there is a potential out after this year, though. But I think it's a team option.
Oh, okay. And they probably will keep him as long as Rodgers is on the roster. And even if he's not, they will still try to keep Devontae because he's just, when healthy, he is a top 5 wide receiver. We talk about the Jeffersons and the Tyreeks of the world, right? But we obviously have to mention Devontae Adams in there. I do want to shift away from the Jets towards the Raiders because this is a big move for them as well. Last year, right, when they kind of but rather promoted Antonio Pierce, right, as that interim head coach. They did well down the stretch. AOC, Aiden O'Connell to be exact, kind of showed.
Not a politician.
Yeah. When they gave him the nickname at first,
Alicia Cortez Cortez, or says her name, wasn't Slayton Pauls for the Raiders.
When they came up, when they said those initials at first, when I first heard about them, I'm like, wait, the only person I know with those initials is that
politician. You can't mix like that. You can't mix it. The nickname is for that one person.
But O'Connell showed some potential towards the end of last season. That's when I was like, okay, maybe this is the year for the Raiders, and a lot of people did think that same way. However, they've been off to a rough start this year. Devontae Adams obviously missing the past couple of weeks with that hamstring injury, which I'm sure will magically heal When he
Cat suit.
yeah, basically with the James Harden situation, which was one of the most bizarre things because once he got traded, he was ready to go.
He's basketball trade the next day. It's like, bro,
Exactly.
Ozempic doesn't work that fast.
It's like, that's not how any weight loss pill works, buddy. But hey, he's on the Clippers now, and he is happy, I'm sure, as the second option for the,
Happy for about like 2 more months.
and then get traded again. Just
Yeah, exactly. Until someone says something and rubs him the wrong way, and he's done.
We'll have some breaking news as well on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nothing too crazy, but we'll talk about that as it just came in on my mobile device. I could have just said iPhone. What the heck? Okay. For the Raiders, right? So the Raiders are also 2-4, just like the New York Jets, but they look worse than the Jets. Because this team is just not. They're not good. I think there's no other way else to put it. They got Gardner Minshew this past offseason, said, all right, you're the QB1. 6 games in, all right, QB change. And here's the thing, because without Devontae, Jacoby Myers is your receiver number 1. We've seen this before with the Patriots when Myers was the wide receiver number 1. Myers is no doubt a good receiver. I didn't say great. I didn't say superstar. He's a good receiver, built to be a wide receiver number 2 or 3, like he's been with the Raiders when Devontae was healthy. Now he's your number 1. Trey Tucker's your number 2. Myers missed Sunday with an injury, so that left Tucker to be the wide receiver number 1, and whoever was behind Tucker. Do I know those guys right now? I do not, because no one knows who the Raiders receiver number 4 is. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, no.
This move does hurt them, even though the third round pick could turn into a second if Devontae does well. You mentioned it. The Raiders they're not going anywhere.
No, they're dead.
They're dead. The AFC West is a division that you need to have upgrades / good players at all positions, because why? You have the Kansas City Chiefs who just don't go away. They're always going to be good as long as Mahomes is under center, plus the referees here and there, plus Taylor Swift.
And they get to help the
plus the Taylor Swift stuff, to be exact. Kelsey, if Travis Kelsey, obviously you may not be listening, but if you are, please, for the love of God, score a touchdown.
Go in the Yankee game. Stop giving them help.
Yeah, like I get, I don't know, it is their off day, so I can understand going to the Royals game because Mahomes does own the Royals, or part owner of the Royals.
No, that's in the same city. Where are the Chiefs playing this week?
Where are they playing?
Chiefs are in San Francisco playing the Niners this week in a rematch of the Super Bowl.
What's today?
Doing in New York.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. So let's say they got a late flight. He flies back out to Kansas City. That time zone changes again. Then he's going to fly out to San Francisco. Another time zone change. Like, don't expect Travis to have a big week on Sunday.
Well, tired. He better for his team and for all of us who own him on his fantasy team. This guy. But yeah, for the AFC West is, it's always going to be ruled by the Chiefs unless you make moves that, impact that. And the Chargers weren't going to do that. I know they have Harbaugh.
Still building.
I'm sorry?
The Chargers are building. Like they're...
but
they're in a sort of they're in a retool.
Yeah.
What I want to say. Like, they're like trying to rebuild the offense to fit what Harbaugh wants to run. Give it 2 seasons, and then they'll try going against the Chiefs.
Which has affected Justin Herbert a lot, I would say, with that new offense, because he has, statistically, it's visible that he's just not the same quarterback. Now, it's not his fault because the team around him in terms of wide receiver depth isn't the greatest in the world. When it's Joshua Palmer,
who a more physical guy, like he wants to establish the run. He builds his team in the trenches. Like, that doesn't, that kind of goes against what quarterbacks like Herbert can do.
100%. So for me, it kind of hurts to see her because he's more than capable of being like a 4,000-yard quarterback. He just needs the weapons around him, and he doesn't have that in terms of wide receiver right now. Either they're just not, no, we know wide receiver number one material, or they're rookies. Example, Lad McConkey. The Denver Broncos, they're rebuilding still. Bo Nick is their starter, but there's been times where that offense does look lackluster. For example, that Jets game where Nick's had like 77 or something passing yards the entire game, not just the first half, but the entire game was just like he threw for under 100 yards, and they still beat the Jets, which was weird.
Yeah,
That's when you knew it was like, yeah, the Jets need to get Devontae Adams, but. And then you have the Raiders, who to me, out of those three teams that we just mentioned, outside of the Chiefs, to me, were the team where I was like, okay, they could contend with Kansas City. They just needed a quarterback. They have Devontae Adams. Sure, they let go of Josh Jacobs, but hey, Zamir White isn't that bad, and Alexander Madison does have experience as the running back number one. Plus, on defense, you have Max Crosby, you have Christian Wilkins. Antonio Pierce is a great players coach. Fast forward to this season, Wilkins is hurt. I think he's an IR, if I'm not mistaken. Devontae's gone. Myers was hurt this past Sunday. Quarterback changed again with O'Connell, but that didn't change anything on Sunday as well. Antonio Pierce has some issues with the players after it was a couple weeks ago, right? When he was complaining about how like some players are making business decisions, so we'll make business decisions too. Like that's a whole mess. And I'm not saying Pierce should be fired. Although I think we did talk about him last week, right, on the hot seat conversation.
It's growing pains. It's what he's going through right now. Is what he's going through. He's learning how to be a coach because he's still, I know he's been a coach like here and there, but like he's never been a head coach before this. So he's got to learn what to do with the media and, balancing a locker room. It's a whole different animal. Like, we see it in Philadelphia. He's still struggling with it. I'm going to get to him in a few minutes. I want to create a new segment for this show coming up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that one. We'll just wrap up the Davante Adams conversation here because we do have a lot to talk about as well. Overall, yeah, Jets won this trade. Obviously, you get a superstar wide receiver number one when healthy, and Davante Adams. I hope this move does help the Jets because look, someone in New York has to be good, right? and why not the Jets?
Well, they show the graphic on Sunday Night Football of the House of Horrors that MetLife Stadium is, and it was just how bad the Jets and Giants have been for the past decade.
Do you feel like that stadium is cursed? It has to be.
Supposedly, the body of Jimmy Hoffa is under that stadium. So, yes, technically, we're haunted by the ghost of Jimmy Hoffa.
Who's Jimmy Hoffa?
Jimmy Hoffa. It's a very famous mobster who went missing in like the 60s, and no one knows where he went. They still can't find his body.
Great.
One of the rumors is, you ever seen the movie The Irishman? It's about his death.
Oh, great. So, yeah, we're haunted by a freaking mobster.
One of the conspiracy theories is was poured into the concrete of Old Giant Stadium. So when they tore it down, they disrupted his grave.
Great. Well, time to move. Maybe let's move to New York. Let's move to New York.
I know Steve Cohen is building a big soccer stadium, like build a nice little home for the Giants and right next to Citi Field. Get that whole park going. He wants to put the casino, the hotel, restaurants, bars, have the Mets and Giants run that whole area.
Yeah, like, can we just not? I mean, I don't mind sharing with the Jets, but can we just like get our own place? I mean, 30 other teams have their own place.
Jets fans hate it too. Jet fans cannot stand to share stadium with us. Because like they played in Giants Stadium from 70 to like that's gotta hurt. And I know they called it Meadowlands Stadium when the Jets played there. Yada yada. It's Giant Stadium. It was Giant Stadium. You're literally little brother. Like that's like the Mets playing at Yankee Stadium. It's like no.
Oh, thank God you guys don't. That'd be just an embarrassment to New York sports. Like, dang, y'all can get your own stadium if you're a New York team. So
the Jets never had their own stadium. Now that I think about it,
no.
Jets have always shared because they used to play Shea with the Mets. And they moved to Stadium, and then they moved to MetLife. So I think they've only shared stadiums.
Always. Well, hey, hopefully one day we'll get breaking news like, oh my God, the Giants or the Jets get their own stadium. And yeah. Well, I hope we do. I understand, the Jets probably deserve it more than we do, but like,
I think the
it'd be
Jets
nice
would
just to get out of
get it before us because like the Mara's that spot for Giant Stadium. Like that's for Wellington Mara. Like I'm gonna put the team here, and like John just kind of does whatever Wellington said. So I doubt they would move it. So I think the Jets have better chance of getting out. Plus, Giants training camp is right there.
Well, maybe if Mara can, make some better decisions with some players, and I'll get to that. Hmm?
Everything Mara's
Yeah.
done since he took over.
Should we just rip the Band-Aid off?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I said last week, and you agreed too. I said Sunday night was gonna be the night that if the Giants won this game, I'd be back. Because it's a big game. The average NFL fan doesn't go like, I want to go watch the Giants on Sunday ticket. No one does that. Okay. They want to see the Chiefs. They want to see the Ravens. They want to see good teams. And
Mm-hmm.
this Sunday night was important because who was playing on Sunday night? Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot of fans want to see Burrow. So that's why last week I was like, look, you know what? If Daniel Jones can beat Joe Burrow on Sunday night and this Giants team just takes advantage of this weak Bengals defense and this Bengals offense that is a good offense, but the Giants do have a great defense. Well, half of that is true because the Giants defense did
The Giants game
deserve
was amazing. Like I know it
it.
was 17-7, but like that game was a lot closer than 17-7.
It's like the definition of the final score doesn't reflect how this game really went.
Exactly.
Um, but the Giants, well, specifically that quarterback, Daniel Jones, proved us wrong again. After what, 4 weeks of playing considerably well, he goes out
Yeah.
and plays a stinker of a game. Like just when things really started to turn around,
Mm-hmm.
this game, this game just needed to go well, dude.
This was the chance to prove every hater wrong. Like, look what
Yeah.
I did. I know the Bengals are not as good as they've been in the past, but like, if Daniel Jones could have gone out there, played like he's played against Seattle, and he goes, I beat Joe Burrow in prime time where I struggled, conversation changes. It's like, all right, how good is Daniel Jones this year? Like, is this a 22 Daniel Jones and 23 was like a fluke?
Mm-hmm.
Now seeing what he can be. Instead, it's like, nope, every pundit, every hot take analyst, everyone was right about Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm. And you're playing in front of your home crowd, man. Like you cannot lose at home on prime time to prove, in a big game to prove yourself. And being a home crowd, that's an advantage for you. You're at
Yeah.
home. And all you do is put up 7 mother effing points. For 60 minutes, that was the most painful thing to watch was to see our team, our guys. I get it, you don't have Malik Neighbors. Singletary was out too, but you just put up 20 plus last week, the week before against Seattle. You put up 7 against the Bengals. This defense is bad. It was bad, man. This Bengals defense coming into this game. They made the Giants offense look like crap. But, it's not even the Bengals defense.
No.
It was literally
It's Daniel
just
Jones.
yeah. It was
Did you see what Justin Pennick, the one of the co-hosts of Talking Giants, tweeted out?
love that.
Okay?
Love those two guys, by the way.
Yeah. It's a great stat. So Daniel Jones has played 33 home games and 33 away games in his career. When he's at home, 27 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. On the road, 41 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. So for some reason, at MetLife Stadium, Daniel Jones just plays horrific football.
Which is weird because you're supposed to play well at home.
First.
Yeah, you should play well at home.
The best is the first comment says, if we can find a quarterback who can play like that at home, we have an insane platoon going on.
Maybe Drew Lock is better at home than away. Who knows? No, but
quarterback rotation.
Yeah, but That'd be even worse for our team because this team just continues to disappoint us every single week. It's the same crap. Um, Look, he wasn't efficient at all. He was 22 of 41. He was what, one interception, which by the way, when I saw it, okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. If we won this game, I would have been happy, like really happy, but I still would have pointed it out because it's a big play. Now that we lost, it just makes things worse because, dude, I don't care, okay, how close you are. I get it was like third down or whatever. Just take the mother effing sack, bro. Why are you? BJ Hill was already gonna wrap you up. Why are you chucking the ball into
Yeah.
the air like it's a fly ball to center field? What are you doing? There was
Mhm.
no one around. Like
Yeah.
there was like one, two, like five guys
Hmm.
around him, around the ball when it was picked
Yeah.
off. What are you
So
doing?
I remember watching this play and like the Mets were on at the same time, so I like the big
Oh,
TV with the Mets on and like the
yeah.
small TV had the Giants game on. So like I watched the play and I just saw the tail end of it when he got intercepted. So like I didn't see how bad it was. So at first I'm like, oh, Daniel Jones is getting the ball is tipped. That's why it looks like that. When I went back and watched it and saw that, Wandale's open over here and Singletary's open over here. I mean, Slane's open over here. And then he just puts the ball in the middle of the field. I'm like, that's rookie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They teach you like in Pee Wee football, don't put the ball in the middle of the field unless you're playing with no one can touch the ball. Like that
Mm-hmm.
was bad. Like that was, I think, the moment I realized, like, okay, Daniel Jones is just not. Like I knew he was a good quarterback. I given up on him, and I think I started to buy back in, and I'm like, all right, maybe Jones with a good everything around him can be a worse version of Kirk Cousins, and like be just good enough to get us to where we need to go. Now you can't think that at all. Daniel Jones, I tweeted out yesterday, new GM, new coaching staff, weapons, offensive line. He's still struggling. It's year 6. I don't care if it's not Daniel Jones' fault, if it's this person's fault. Don't care anymore. 6 years, all right? You have to figure it out by now. And we can't keep spinning our tires waiting for Daniel Jones to repeat 2022, okay? He's done. He's done. And if I'm Brian Dable, I'm considering a quarterback change right now because if I'm on defense, I consider starting Jones a slap in the face because he cannot get it done on offense. I'm playing they're playing their asses off out there. Stop holding the Bengals to 7 all game, and Daniel Jones can't get out of his own way.
The whole game to show, like, to bounce back from that pick, pretty much the whole entire game to bounce back and say, hey, look, that was a rough play. Let me go out there and bounce back. No, it's the same thing. 18.3 QBR. When you have an 18.3 QBR, that is really, really bad.
5 on deep pass.
Yeah, he could not throw the deep ball. I mean, he did it the week before against Seattle, but like we're talking like streaks down the field, like to Hyatt, crossing routes to Wandale that's longer than 20
When we
yards.
overthrew him by a mile, Wandale could have walked for like a huge game.
Dude, he was literally gone, and they just, oh my god, I can't do it. It just the Sunday night just reminded me of why we just don't like this guy when he plays for the Giants. And you mentioned the interception and how that went down. I'm sure you remember there was a play. It was trips to the left. It was Slayton, Theo Johnson, and Robinson in that order, I believe. And you had Jalen Hyatt on the right side. I think it was the third or fourth down. The play was so Hyatt was open on the right side. I think it was Slayton was open as well. It was like a little out to the left, and Johnson was seaming up the middle and up to the left side. It was like a seam route. And Wandale was the first mother effing read. And what does he do? Throw it to
Stares him
Wandale
down
route. He
again.
stares him down. Little curl route to Wandale. DP just tipped it out like that. Easiest stop ever for the Bengals, and they're over there celebrating while I see Jones just looking at the camera or looking up at the scoreboard like this, like that fucking means anything.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it, dude.
I don't know how you can defend him anymore. Like, how can you just sit there and be like, all right, we'll try it again next year with like this? Like, no, year 6, figure it out. It's not. It's at a point right now where Brian Dable and Joe Shane realize that this guy could potentially cost them their jobs. They want to move on. I don't think like I'll give Brian Dable credit because like from what I was seeing and what I kind of watched, I'm like, all right, Dable was more aggressive in his play calling. I think they went for it like 5 times on 4th down. Right? 5, 3 for 5.
I'm double checking just to make sure, but you're on the right track.
Yeah, so, but they, we saw a more aggressive passing attack. We saw more aggressive play calling from Dable. I truly think Dable just doesn't trust Jones anymore. He can't trust him to run the offense he wants.
Yeah,
and if you're a head coach and you don't trust your starting quarterback, how are you ever going to do anything in this league? How are you going to win a division? How are you going to go up there against teams like Detroit or against the 49ers and expect to come out of there with victories if you can't run the offense you want to run? And you could say everything you want about this quarterback draft class coming up, how it's weak, how it's, not as depth. 2 years ago, Joe Shane wanted CJ Stroud. Last year, Brian Dable wanted Jaden Daniels. What are those two? Those are 2 top 5 quarterbacks in this league right now. So those two can clearly, or the scouts can clearly pick up on NFL potential in college quarterbacks. So I don't care what quarterback they draft. I have faith that they know what they're looking at and like, we can run this guy in our offense. We can make it work. Because if they had CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels, I guarantee you we're in a much better spot right now.
I do want
to. Taylor, we're probably 4-2 right now.
Oh, 100%. You put in a different quarterback. Well, a different quarterback other than the guys we have on this roster, because it would be the same thing, even worse if we had either Locke or DeVito in there.
DeVito, because like he's just so fun.
Yeah, but of course, as we know, fun does not equate to wins.
I'm just saying, like Tommy
No,
DeVito, because like it's just like no pressure at all. It's just like, oh, DeVito's out there, like, oh my god, he's slinging the ball. Holy crap!
Yeah, no, I 100% get what you're saying. It's just you brought up a great point when you said Tyrod or just someone else would be so much better. And I do want to point out something. I don't think I ever said this before. Jared Clem, the host of the Corner Booth podcast I'm a part of every week, he has a close friend of his that is, or a client of his that is close with the Maras. He said this story multiple times. I don't think I've ever revealed this on this podcast before. Shout out to him.
Let's get this guy on here. I tried to pay an usher $500 to get me in the Maris box one time. This guy can get me in the phone with him.
I know.
Try it. Hello, John.
John.
Conversation is years in the making.
It's like John.
It's not Mr. Mara. It's John. You don't get the respect from what you've done to my football team.
Not from us, he doesn't. No, but yeah. So Jared's a client, is close with the Maras, and they had a dinner one time, and the client reported back to Jared, and Jared was like, he asked him, "Hey, how did the Maras feel about Daniel Jones?" And the client responded to him, quote, "Jared, they really love Daniel Jones. It's like he's like a son to them." And when I heard that, and he said this multiple times, this story, I'm like, this is why they kept him for 6 years. Mm-hmm. Look,
Daniel Jones is a great guy.
He is.
He seems like a fun guy. You see the videos of him, the Hoboken bars, playing flip cup. He's like a great guy to go out on a Friday night with. But, my friend Ryan is a great guy to go out with on a Friday night too. You know where I don't want him? My starting quarterback. Love him to death. I don't want him playing quarterback for the Giants. I want to be sitting on the couch with him watching football. I'll do that with him, but no. Just because you love a guy doesn't mean you have to force him to work. Like, you have to do what's best for the team. And I know, but that's where sports is a business, and you have to separate the two. That's where I think Mara hasn't done. He hasn't separated the business, the family aspect, which the Giants are a family organization. I understand that. But when you've been losing almost 15 years now, trying to make a change.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, it's been way too long. Holy crap.
2011.
Yeah.
Last Super Bowl. And then since then, we've been in the playoffs twice with one playoff win. The New York Giants, one of the most famous franchises in NFL. I think we're the fourth oldest team in the NFL right now. We have 8 championships. We've appeared in like 20 championship games. We have history. We have some of the greatest players to ever touch the football field. We have the most Hall of Famers of any franchise. We don't lose. We don't do this. This is disgusting. I understand the 60s and 70s happens, and this is very clearly a repeat of that. Something has got to change. And it's time for Mara, I think, to take a step back and just let the football guys make the decisions. Because I know he's not meddling as much as people want to say, but his influence is definitely there. And it's just time. Like, I don't even know anymore. I just feel so defeated with this whole franchise right now and just so upset that I bought back in with these guys, that I watched these guys, that they were playing hard, and I convinced myself that this is still a good team. It's not a good team until number 8 is on somebody not named Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm. 1-14 in primetime, dude. That is the worst record by any quarterback.
1-14 in primetime games. When you play in New York, you're the New York Giants. It's probably one of the most famous organizations in American sports outside of like the Yankees and the Cowboys, like the obvious ones. I feel like a lot of people worldwide who don't even know football know who the New York Giants are. You can't even sniff the playoffs. Like 8-8, we'd celebrate right now. That's pathetic. It should be playoffs or bust every single season.
In that one win he has wasn't even thanks to him. It was literally because Kayvon Thibodeau stripped Heineke, Taylor Heineke on Sunday night during that 2022 season for a touchdown. Other than that,
in that game, they had the pass interference call that wasn't called at the end in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of weird officiating in that game too. So we can say it now because we had to defend it afterwards. Fluke win.
Mm-hmm. Good for us, obviously, but definitely.
I'm not saying it's not good for us. That's why it's taken 2 years for me to finally admit that. But let's be honest, we shouldn't have won that game.
That was a win for sure. Brian Daboll is also 2-7 as a head coach, but you get up a good point that you also tweeted out as well with the CJ Stroud and the Jaden Daniels point, and I'll say it again for those of you who keep bringing up that Hard Knocks clip of Joe Sheen's son. Please respectfully just shut the F up because for those of you who did watch the whole show, which I hope you guys did, we tried to trade up to 3 to get Drake May. That did not work. What makes you think?
2. We would have tried to trade up to 2 if it wasn't Washington. If it wasn't Washington at 2, we were trading up to 2.
Yeah, it's like we couldn't get to 3. So how do you expect us to go to number 2? And to make that worse, like you just said, it's with the Commanders. So what makes you think as a fan, guys, that just because we couldn't go up to 3, I'm sure the Commanders will be nice to us and let us go up to number 2. That's not how the NFL. This isn't Madden. So, and I hate when people bring up that stuff.
The Patriots, like the Giants and Patriots, I know the Giants have beaten the Patriots twice, but like they do have a very good connection. Like I know Bill Belichick's not there anymore, but a lot of his disciples are still there, and a lot of his guys are kind of still in the front office and stuff. So like there is still his presence is kind of still looming there. Bill Belichick has always said the team he would lead the Patriots for would have been the New York Giants. Like he loved and respected the Maras and the Giants. Now, probably because he got his start with the Giants and was a defensive coordinator in the 80s when Parcells was, putting us back on the map. But you don't think that, has resonated with them? Like how much respect Belichick has has kind of resonated with the Patriots, and plus them being so close but not rivals at the same time. Like before the Patriots, a lot of people in Boston were Giants fans because there was no football team in Boston. So they were just kind of so in Massachusetts, there's this big group of Giants fans, because of history. And a lot of, Patriots fans, if you trace like the fan base back, were Giants fans at one point. So there's a lot of overlap and a lot of history between these two organizations. And they still couldn't get a deal done between 3 and 6.
Now, just if they will, I swear, I don't care what happens. If Dable gets fired,
It's the biggest
mistake.
tragedy. Yeah, it's such a mistake to fire Dable because he's the guy. Like I said this in the past. Playing up and down the competition is a sign of bad coaching. Like I said about guys like Sirianni and Mike Tomlin, where and Marcus Freeman, where you're kind of seeing the up and downs. Like you guys can't prepare. Brian Dable, lack of talent on his roster, has always been able, outside of a few examples, been able to get this team to fight. That's a sign of good coaching. He has done miracles to squeeze the little shreds of talent he has on this roster and make it far. Like, I would say the 2024 roster is much better than the 2022 roster. Would you say the same thing?
100%.
All right, the 2022 roster made the divisional round. This team's probably going to win 6 games.
You know how sad that is, too? We made the playoffs in 2022 with guys like Marcus Johnson, David Sills at wide receiver. Like, guy.
Richie James. I don't even think Richie James is in the league anymore as a number 1 wide receiver.
No. I miss Richie James low key. Like, he was solid for us.
Great special teams guy. Like, he got like a great name, a great story. Like, he's like one of those guys, that's like Ruben Randall. We're like, Ruben Randall is a terrible football player, but like he just played so long for your team. You're like, oh, I love that guy.
Yeah. And like James was productive. Like he was brought in to be a special teams. He was productive. Like he wasn't that bad as a wide receiver. Like Jones was literally trying to target him a lot to start the year.
It's weird how much I think about Ruben Randall now that I'm thinking about it. Like I would say it's once a week. I just randomly will watch Ruben Randall highlights, and he just wasn't. I watch him like he's not good. Like, he only spent 4 years in the league. As soon as he was a free agent, signed with Philly, and got cut in training camp and retired.
A guy that comes to mind that's similar to what you're thinking about is Ramses Barden. I don't know why. It's like. It's just those random moments where it's like just random giants come to mind. Yeah.
John Beeson.
Oh, dude. Oh my God. I loved him. He was so good. He was hella good, bro. I know with the Panthers, he was well.
Like, he wasn't at the same time. Like, he was just good because everything else was so bad.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. Who else? Who was another? What's that pass rusher's name? Marcus Golden.
I know I discussed this in the past, but we'll have to do like top 5 Giants that like you've forgotten about.
Thursday. Probably do Thursday.
Yeah.
We do that Thursday. Oh, that's gonna be a fun list to make. I don't think it could be top 10 because there's just so many random.
There's so many you'll name, like, oh my God, remember this person,
Oh my God. That's gonna be fun. So we'll definitely plan that for Thursday. But yeah, we'll progress more with the Giants, and because we could talk on and on about Daniel Jones, and we did release a video of why we either believe or don't believe in Daniel Jones this season. Well, I look like
that video. I say not believing in Daniel Jones. I was proven right.
Yeah, and I believed in him because I give people the benefit that
I like it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, until it doesn't work out, I look like a fucking idiot. Overall, I don't care what he does against Philadelphia. I don't care. He could go out for 4 touchdowns for all I care.
I care, but I care. I would like him to win.
I would like the team to win. I don't care how the hell he does. If our defense somehow wins that game for us, great. Just Sunday night just reminded me, and I'm sure next week, for fun's sakes, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, Jones played well. I'm back on the hype train. Like I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen just because that's how we are as a fan. But from a podcasting professional standpoint, I know, and we both know, and a lot of fans know Sunday night just proved to us that he's just not that guy, and things aren't going to change overnight. Like he's not going to go on a 11 game streak of great games. He's just that's not who he is.
No.
He'll never be that guy as long as he's in a blue uniform for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of it, and
Yeah.
I'm officially saying it right now. I'm done. Nothing's gonna change my mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
No, it's sad that we've given up and it's week 6. We're looking at draft boards, already looking at the quarterbacks that are in the draft. But like, it's going to be so good in the long. Like, this team is really a quarterback away.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Like, I know like the records say it, and people don't want to believe that. But look at how that defense played. Tyrone Tracy looks special. We got Malik Neighbors looking like a top 10 wide receiver in the league. Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton look like really good supporting cast for Neighbors. That if Neighbors is locked up, they can have big games and pick it up for it. The offensive line, for the first time in a decade and a half, can actually block people. Like, there's a lot to like about this Giants team. It's literally at this point just like Daniel Jones is the one thing that hasn't changed. Time to change.
Yeah, I'm trying to find trying to find a tweet about the Giants. You know what? Actually, I think we're just cursed. Actually, no. So I'll say that for the defensive side because it was on defense when this play happened. Just to cover our bases for the offense real quick. Tyrone Tracy.
Daniel Jones sucks.
Yeah, Jones sucks. Tracy was great. He had 107 total yards of offense by himself, including 71 of them in just the second half. I'm proud of him. Once again, he's RB1 for me. When Singletary's healthy, I don't even care.
Okay.
Put him in there. Slayton led the team in receiving with 6 catches for 57 yards, had another drop or two. He is now tied for the most drops with at least 30 targets this year. Great. The offensive line, 2 sacks allowed. Literally just by Andrew Thomas, who we have some bad news on because we heard on Sunday night, heading into Monday morning, that he has a foot injury. No updates yet. But this just adds on to the fact that we may not have our best left tackle against the Eagles. And this was honestly our biggest fear was consistency on this O-line. And that's in jeopardy because
guess who's coming in?
Well, unless you move Illumina to the left side and then put that guy at right tackle.
So then he's still coming in. He's still coming.
He's still coming in, which then leads to just...
No offense, Evan Neal. I do not want him on the field.
Yeah. I don't think proves wrong, which will be nice. I'd rather be proven wrong than be disappointed.
I'd rather be wrong and happy than right and miserable.
There you go. Yeah, we'll see what happens with probably more updates on Thursday with Andrew Thomas. But so far, he got an MRI, I think, yesterday. So we'll see what happens with that. 24 first downs, 309 total yards of offense, 109 yards passing, which is more than the Bengals had more. No, yeah. It's like 109 or 209 yards passing. No, it was whatever. I don't care. 119 yards rushing. 34 minutes of time of possession, all for nothing because this team can't do. Yeah, I can't. Okay, I'm just gonna move on to the defense. The reason why I brought up the cursed conversation real quick about this stadium. Bengals were driving down the field in the fourth quarter. I think it was T. Higgins that caught the ball, right? Or Chase Brown. He fumbled the football. The ball was rolling. Speaking of which, I was working, by the way. I work Sundays, which sucks because literally we have a lot of customers on Sundays. And it was hard to watch the game at the same time. But at that moment, I paused for a second. And Underdog, if you're listening, I promise I was doing my job. I went right back to work. But I saw the ball rolling, and I had to stop typing real quick. I have to admit that. And the ball was rolling. I was like, oh, my God. We're about to pick up this fumble. Right, and we at least have a chance because all we need was a field goal, and I'll get to that son of a kicker towards the end of the Giant segment. But the ball was on the ground, dude, and it was rolling. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to recover this. And Jason Pinnock was right there. And he bobbled it. And I'm just like,
yeah.
And then the ball was slowly, to me, the ball, even though the ball was moving normally, to me, it was moving so slow out of bounds. It just brought my mood just back down to depression.
Yeah.
And I see Tyler Newman like this because he was trying to recover it, and he was like frustrated. And I was like, me too, bro.
Because it's like, that's the game right there. Like, that's it.
And then they rubbed it in. The Bengals didn't score the Chase Brown touchdown right up the gut, rushing touchdown. So, but look, defensively, this is not on them. Outside of that first drive that made me throw a water bottle like on the ground because I had nothing else to throw. Outside that first drive that Joe Burrow scored a rushing touchdown, by the way, they were fine. This defense was great. 13 first downs the whole
Put them in
game.
the position to win.
Yeah. 13 first downs, 4 of 11 on third down. They helped the Bengals too. Chase Brown and Zach Moss did not do crap for the Bengals. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins.
Finally.
Yeah. Like Brian Burns. That's the guy that we traded.
We traded for.
Yeah. He was great. And you know what? To me, he played great, but the guy that surprised me the most was Azeez Ojulari. Dude, he was great. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 4 tackles overall. Dude, that guy was good. Like, that's
like I've seen people on Twitter like we're gonna have a serious conversation about healthy Azeez Ojulari versus Kayvon.
Yeah, because Kayvon is like a one trick guy. Like, he depends on his speed, I guess, in a way. As
his athleticism, which was his like major concern coming out of college, was he's just very athletic and revolves too heavily on it.
Mm-hmm. And that's I still love him. Like we all.
Oh yeah.
He just needs to develop into more of a multi-tool pass rusher.
Like in college, doesn't work in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Basically, he needs to be Ojulari, just better. And it's like, but Ojulari, dude, if he continues to do that while Thibodeau's out, this defense is going to be just fine because he's playing well. Dexter Lawrence got another sack. Like, he's playing well. Brian Burns, 8 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, had that 1 sack. And not outside of the sack, had a couple of great plays where he was in the backfield, getting to the quarterback or to the running back for a loss. He was great. So shout out to those, to him and to Lawrence and Ojulari as well.
And Newman leading the team in tackles with 9.
Yeah, once again, he's like, he may not be Xavier McKinney yet, because McKinney's on a whole different level. But Newman is.
It almost sucks that McKinney is so good right now because people aren't appreciating what Newman's doing.
Yeah, and that's like, damn. Like
people always probably like, oh, you should let go McKinney. I'm like, yeah, you're right, but like Newman's not been bad. Like, look at his numbers. He's a good safety. He's just not being, Superman like McKinney is right now.
He's not seeing the ball thrown towards his direction. And people obviously get brought up so into the stats as much. When it's like, oh, McKinney has 5 picks, Newman has 0 interceptions. Maybe McKinney is better. No, it's just like Newman is a tackling machine right now. Once the ball gets thrown his way, I have no doubt he's gonna show out just like McKinney. It just takes some time.
At Iowa.
Yeah, it just takes some time for him. He was great for Minnesota. He was great for what's Minnesota's Gophers? Golden Gophers? Is that their mascot?
Yes, the Golden Gophers.
Gophers, yeah. So, but yeah, secondary was fine. I know Higgins and Chase had a pretty good game with 77 and 73 receiving yards, respectively. But Joe Burrow had only 209 yards passing, I think. The longest catch allowed was 33 yards to Jamar Chase. Like, this defense, in no doubt will I blame this defense. Like, you did all you could. You held the Bengals to 25 minutes of offense. Like, they did their job. They got them off the field. And, I think, as you always do, you brought up another great point towards the beginning of the Giants segment, where it's like, you're doing a disservice by playing Daniel Jones because your defense gets the opposing offense off the field. The offense is supposed to pick up the slack and repay the
Yeah.
defense and put up points. They're not doing that. They didn't do that on Sunday because Jones had multiple opportunities to score points and just put up a measly 7, which, by the way, was bailed out by a pass interference call that Darius Slayton drawn that put the Giants at the 1.
Yeah.
They put up the 1, and then Tyron Tracy just ran it in for a 1-yard touchdown. Like, that drive wasn't engineered by Jones. It was literally because of a pass interference call that led to Tyron Tracy running the football in for a touchdown. So Jones did not lead that team on that drive. It was a penalty.
No.
So overall defense, I don't think. Do you have anything else defensively?
The only thing is, like, really about this game, it just reminds you of that Buffalo game last year where we were in Buffalo and defense played amazingly and we should have won, but the offense couldn't get going. And I know that wasn't Daniel Jones, it was Tyler Taylor, but it's the same thing. We're just like another wasted defensive performance in Sunday Night Football.
And then special teams. You know it's bad when we bring those.
Why can't we get a kicker?
I hate Greg Joseph. Okay, so let me get this straight. No, seriously. The weather was fine in MetLife. It was fine. So, if I remember correctly, Greg Joseph hit a 61-yarder against us 2 years ago. But he can't hit...
Ruined church.
I
said on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Oh, he ruined church.
In church. I was late watching the game in church. It's the worst thing I've ever done. I turned the game off and just threw my phone. I had it like this. I was watching, but I was like, oh, yeah.
It's like, son of a... Oh, sorry.
I was literally told my mom's like, you can watch the game, but you cannot say anything. Like, okay. So I turned the phone off. I just put it in my pocket. I sat there, and then when we got to the car, I exploded. It was just like, come on!
Please, just one time. Something go our way. No, but...
You always have to ruin the holidays.
Just don't play us on Christmas. Wait, we play on Christmas this year, don't we? No, we don't, because that's a cheat.
This year. We're going to ruin Thanksgiving.
Oh, my God. We have nothing to be thankful for on that day, football-wise.
We're playing Dallas. Like...
Oh, yeah.
Get our revenge?
Nah, not with eight at quarterback. Greg Joseph, 0 for 2.
Tell me cutlets. I'm thankful for.
Greg Joseph, 0 for 2, missed a 47 and a 45-yard. That 47-yarder would have tied the game. That 45-yarder I still don't get because why not just go for the touchdown in the fourth quarter when we got the ball back? But I when he missed that 45-yarder to just at least put us down by 7 instead of 10.
We lost at that point.
Yeah, I lost it. I was like, yeah, be like,
all right, well, this game's over.
Like, it was over as it is, even if we didn't make it, because the onside kick probability is like really low. But at least give us hope, like just we had a backup punter. We had to sign a punter like 2 days before the game because
it's like, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
I thought we got a new didn't we get a new special teams coordinator? We did, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Because McCloud. No,
I also want to put this on him because he's also deal with a lot of injuries. Like he had Graham Gano and Jamie Gillian as his guys, and they're both hurt right now. He's like, what?
Overall, usually like the Giants cover up a lot of our Tuesday episodes, and I hate that it does sometimes because when it's like a depressing loss like this, it just sucks. But we have to cover our bases, man. This is what we do is cover the bases. And this team, once again, disappointed us, but we covered everything: offense, defense, special teams. Injury wise, Andrew Thomas, we just mentioned, had an MRI done. Had 2 sacks again on Sunday. Had an illegal man downfield penalty that took away a 56-yard reception from Darius Slayton. So that's concerning because Thomas has had 2 ankle surgeries before. He missed 7 games last season, so that's a big thing to monitor as well. So hopefully he's healthy because we need him. He is the best left tackle, one of the, at the very least, in the league when healthy. Brian Burns has a groin injury. That's something to monitor as well. And then also, what's it called? Of course, with the Malik Neighbors situation and Devin Singletary, we'll see what happens with those four guys together as they take on the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. Why is that important? Two things. The Giants are back at home again, and
he's back.
I'm calling it 150 rushing yards and a couple tutties. You know what? No. I trust our defense. He'll score like 2 touchdowns.
Lawrence is going to welcome him back very well.
Mm-hmm. It's just he'll score a touchdown or two, but rushing yards wise, he's not gonna rush for like 100. He'll rush for like 50. And then Jalen Hurts will get him.
Is like on the first play of the game, just hit him. Be like, now you got to deal with me.
Yeah, and then Brian Burns off the edge tackles him for a loss of 5. Now you got to deal with me. And Ojulari, same thing. And so hopefully we just limit that Eagles run game and the secondary play as well, and then we'll just have to worry about this lackluster offense. But welcome home, Saquon. I hope you suck.
Ooh.
I cannot
You're hearing a lot of that, Saquon. Boo.
Boos all around. Okay, let's move on to. Wait a minute. No, we'll move on to week 6. But you mentioned a segment that you wanted to bring up. Did you want to bring it up now? Because
it's kind of, I kind of realized that I make fun of the Eagles and Nick Sirianni a lot. So this new segment's called "What Did Nick Sirianni Say This Week That Makes Him an Idiot?" This week we have Nick Sirianni picking a fight with Philadelphia Eagles fans. Now, if you missed this, he said that he couldn't hear the fan base on Sunday. I hate you. I do. For a football fan, you play for the Eagles. Let me give you some advice as somebody who has dealt with Eagles fans their entire life. Don't give them ammo to go against you because they will use it and they will hate you for it. This is the same fan base that wanted Andy Reid fired for a decade. After Andy Reid brought them to 5 NFC championship games. You've done nothing. So shut up. You're a bad coach. Sit there. And that's what Nick Sirianni said this week to make him an idiot.
That haircut, by the way, of Sirianni. Oof.
Yeah, like, bro.
That's totally going to change the perspective on you.
If anything, I think he's more of a loser.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's such a tryhard.
He needs to go. He's just not a good head coach. Like maybe as a coordinator, yeah.
The worst part is, like, as someone who hates the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni is the perfect coach for me because he's just good enough to not get fired, but not good enough to get them where he needs to go. But he's such a dork and a loser that I just can't stand
him. As only, what's it called? If only you didn't hate Philly so much, but you do with the Phillies and the Sixers and now the Eagles. Well, you always hated the Eagles, but now it's worse because Sirianni is just terrible. I almost feel bad for them because honestly, with a competent head coach, they'd be much better.
I don't feel any bad for that fan base. That fan base grew up on a little girl for cursing. Like,
I know you don't. I know.
You booed Santa Claus. You booed Santa Claus. You're bad forever. You threw batteries at a player. Batteries.
This is why they don't deserve anything. Anyway, I'm kidding.
Love you, Jared. You pushed in the river.
What if we push Bikini Bottom, or we take Bikini Bottom and push it?
Still on that. Just at least just push the sports complex into it. Because I think we got to keep the history. Like Philadelphia is as much, it's very important to American history. Blah blah blah. Ben Franklin, all that. Declaration of Independence, Liberty Bell. I get that. Okay, understand. Philadelphia, birthplace of America. Why are the fans such idiots? They idolize Rocky.
Okay, let me ask you.
Their sports teams are so bad they built a statue for a fake one.
Let me ask you. Out of the 3 Philly teams, who do you hate the least? Sixers, Eagles, and Phillies.
Sixers, I would say. I probably hate the Flyers more than I hate the Sixers. Yeah.
Whoa, what's wrong with the Flyers? Oh, Rangers, Flyers. Got it.
Probably just because, like, out of the 4 basketball is a sport like I follow it all. I follow all of them, but like out of the 4, I probably pick basketball 4. So I probably go Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers.
Fair. But yeah, well, speaking of the Eagles, they barely beat the Cleveland Browns. When you barely beat the Cleveland Browns, you have a problem, especially when you're at home, like Brian just said, screaming at your fans. Yeah, I was not impressed whatsoever. We beat the Browns, okay, and
We
we
beat the
beat them
Browns
pretty.
by more. We beat them by 5. We only beat them by 4.
So that means we'll beat the Eagles by 1.
Big brain.
I the Eagles remain the only team not to score in the first quarter, which was us for a good amount of time. But we scored in the first quarter. But they are the only team to never, not even a field goal in the first quarter. That's when you know it's bad in Philadelphia. 20 points against Cleveland, not the most impressive thing, considering the fact that they suck in Cleveland. Which, by the way, I know. No, well, yeah.
Hey, remember when we used to complain about the Giants not being able to score 30 points in a game?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we were wrong because Cleveland hasn't scored 20 in a game yet. We were, like, if you can't score 20 points in a game, like, what are we doing here?
Gun to your head. You taking Watson or Jones?
Daniel Jones. Well, hang on. Are we taking, like, full career Deshaun Watson or Daniel Jones?
Jones versus Watson, just like right now. Or would you just pull the trigger?
Well, I would pull the trigger, but I had to go Daniel Jones. At least Daniel Jones has the baggage that Watson does.
Yeah,
Like, at least Daniel Jones, you're like, all right, this guy sucks, but like at least he kind of seems like a cool guy to hang out with. Deshaun Watson, just like, this is a bad football player and a worse person.
he still has the job. Crazy. They gotta bench him eventually. Like I just don't understand.
I don't think you can. You give him so much money.
I don't care. I would.
I know that, but you're just between a rock and a hard place right now. Like, you really want the $234 million man just on your bench?
For the fan base and the organization's sake, if you're trying to win,
Healthy
100%.
thing to do. Yes, you're right, but like, also like from a financial standpoint, it's like how we use our assets. Well, if we have $200 million on the bench, like that's using it pretty badly.
And you know what?
Worst trade in NFL history.
It's not even on Stefanski. I know we talked about him last week on the hot seat. It's not even him. And honestly, I'll go up to the point where it's not even on Andrew Berry. It's on the owner. Because he's probably like, I don't care how bad this guy plays. We paid him. He is a superstar quarterback. We paid him like one. He is starting no matter what. And that's why Stefanski's like, he gives us our best chance to win. Kevin, tell him with your chest how you really feel. I know damn well you
true
don't.
Serum. He's like, I want Jameis in there right now.
Or DTR. Put somebody. Literally just put either.
He's like, I will take a drunk fan from the dog pound and somehow score 14 with him.
I mean, there is hope for Cleveland. Nick Chubb is coming back.
Yeah, there's hope for Cleveland. They have a great team, but it's just Deshaun Watson is so bad. It's just he's such a black hole from the way he plays, the off the field stuff, the attitude on the sidelines, like everything he does, he just brings the team down.
Yeah. So sucks to be you, Cleveland. Since LeBron left, you guys have been.
This is why we don't trade for guys who have sexual assault cases against them.
And I'll add, what's it called? I'll add on to that. This is why we don't let go of guys that lead you to the playoffs. You see Baker Mayfield? You see him in Tampa? He's doing pretty good over there. Yeah.
Like, what up? Oh my God, 51 points for the Buccaneers.
Yeah. Oh well, okay. Let's be honest. But by the way, Cleveland, this is the example of karma's a bitch. Excuse my language. Tampa, yeah, 51. Yeah, Baker Mayfield though, 4 tutties, but 3 interceptions.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis
that is the
Winston,
Jameis Winston special right there.
literally.
The only guy with a 30-30 season.
The only thing that matters is you got the win and you put up 51 points. So that's when you know that's quite impressive. But yeah, the Saints, Spencer Rattler, for a rookie for his first start.
Terrible.
Yeah, in the first half he
Downs.
looked like a superstar. He looked pretty good. It's just that second half where it was like 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. That's when I was like,
That's the growing pains though. But like
yeah.
how you're taking this team was down 17-0 and you blinked and it was 2017. Rattler shows that he doesn't get, discouraged by stuff like that. So that's a good sign for the young quarterback. I think if you're the Saints, you start Rattler for the rest of the year. He just brought so much excitement. I know you lost 51-27, but I don't really put that on Rattler and what Derek Carr is going to do. Start the kid and just see what he's got.
Yeah, but then they trust Derek Carr, and it's just a whole.
I know, but Dennis Allen's going to get fired at the end of the year. That's kind of a horrible kept secret right now.
That seat is hot.
Where would you put the Saints' job in terms of likely attractiveness? I put it towards the bottom.
Let's see. Bright spots. Olave. Kamara.
How much longer does Kamara have? Kamara's good right now, but he's an aging running back. Running backs age like milk.
And they didn't resign him. Shit.
It's Olave and a couple guys on defense, and it's maybe you'll like Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr too, but not at that contract.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I put it a 3.
Yeah. Now, instead of Derek Carr, at a young quarterback who's showing flashes and could be a superstar. What's that do now?
A 5 because that's still not my guy.
Right, but at least you're all right, I have a quarterback who I can mold into my thing. A young quarterback makes it more attractive.
Mm-hmm. Unlike our situation where Dable had to inherit a guy that's been there for a
4-year guy compared to a 10-game guy is a little different.
Year 7.
No year 7. Year 7.
If I see year 7 next year, I'm gonna fucking lose it. God, I'm cussing a lot today, but man, I'm pissed. That guy pisses me off. That number 8. Speaking of rookie quarterbacks, right? Drake May. He didn't do bad either. No.
He was a nice mixed bag. A nice rookie performance. It's all right, there's some stuff to work on, but I can see why you might have gotten picked in 3rd.
Yeah. I missed that Hard Knocks clip of him just dissecting that play with Dable.
Genius.
God, I was like, dude, please, let's get him. But obviously,
this guy's, all right, I might be critical of this guy, but damn, he's got a high football IQ. I can't argue that.
If we saw that clip before the draft, I would have gone nuts.
Story.
I've been like, please, May, trade up. I don't want Neighbors. Well, I still would have loved Neighbors, and I still obviously do to this day. Both of us do, as well as a lot of Giants fans do. But to get your franchise quarterback, God, man, it would give us some hope for this year. Now,
the Giants win on Sunday with Drake May.
Oh yeah, because at least May was slinging the rock. Jeez, he was making reads. He knows what he's doing. Dable would have he would have looked at that play sheet and have been like, yeah, I'm calling all this. Versus Jones. Can't call that. Okay, here's a play from 2022. Let's run that one.
Yeah.
So that's all he knows how to do is look at his first read. God, I swear to God, he makes me not want to watch football. That son of a gun quarterback in Jones. But yeah, May. The Patriots put up 21 points, but shout out to the Texans, by the way. Joe Mixon is back, which is great for them. 2 touchdowns for the Texans. Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell picking up the slack for Houston against New England. So shout out to them. We covered the Raiders already, but if it wasn't for the Devontae Adams trade, I put a note that said they switched the quarterback, but it's the same thing. Didn't matter for them at all. They still lost. The Dallas
Dallas Cowboys.
Very nice, guys.
How's Dak Prescott $60 million a year looking now, morons?
Man. Oh, we have a quarterback. We're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, 9 points.
Greatness since Romo. It has not happened yet.
3 points in the first quarter, 3 points in the second quarter. Oh, and then 3 points in the third quarter. And then 0 points in the fourth. Meanwhile, Detroit's over here throwing flea flickers and having Penei Sewell at a wide receiver. Yeah, nice. You're doing great,
Trying for a
Dallas.
big guy touchdown the entire time. It's so funny. Like, Campbell's like, we're winning by so much. Get the offensive line a touchdown.
Dan Campbell, if it wasn't for Dable, because Dable is obviously my favorite head coach in the league because I love that guy. When he led us to that week 1 win against Tennessee, like being aggressive, I fell in love. I was like, this guy, Dable is the real deal.
There's something different.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for him, Campbell would be my favorite head coach. Like, he is such. He's a player's
fans have to like him.
Yeah, like if you hate on Dan Campbell, you're tripping. Because Dan Campbell, he's not just a player's coach that cares. He's a great guy that knows ball, and he motivates his guys. Plus the fact they have a great coordinators around him. Ben Johnson is an outstanding offensive coordinator. Yeah. Ben Johnson, please don't go to New Orleans. You'll die there, please. Because he's gonna get a head coaching job one day. He was offered one this past offseason, but he said, "No, I want to stay in Detroit."
After a few, yeah. I think it was like Carolina. Was he offered the Carolina job?
I think so. Yeah, and then Canales took over. Yeah, Canales took over.
Carolina too.
Yeah, I'm sure he's sort of regretting it. No, well, he is a head coach. Canales is.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, Campbell is a great coach, has great coordinators around him, but overall, he's a guy that you want leading your football team. I don't know if did you watch the Detroit game?
I had Red Zone on, so I was watching it on and off. I was kind of flipping around everywhere.
Did you see the Hutchinson? I didn't. I saw.
I'm not watching it.
Me too. I couldn't. I had my laptop because I was working. I had my laptop in front of me, so the Hutchinson thing was kind of cut off, so I didn't see what happened because I was on mute because I was just so focused. And I see everyone huddling up. I'm like, what the heck happened? And Hutchinson was on the ground. I was like, and the car. They brought out the car. I'm like, oh. And then I saw the air cast. I'm like, oh. And then I've seen clips of the injury being shown. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna swipe down because I'm not trying to see it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably will just stay away from it because I don't want to see like how bad it was. But it is a broken leg. He's out for the year.
I know some people like it. I stay away from bad injuries. Like that Louisville player from all those years ago. I still never watched it.
Oh, I seen that
about it. I'm like, I'm not looking into it. It sounds disgusting.
I think. Have you seen the Paul George one? Team USA years ago? No. Okay, that one you stay away from too. But yeah, Detroit lost a big piece in Hutchinson. We'll see how they. I mean, when he was off the field, they still kept the Cowboys to 9 points overall. So they will miss him. But he was like the leader in sacks heading into Sunday. He had a great start to the year, and that's ruined. Okay, let's see what else do we have. Baltimore won the battle between Jackson and Daniels. That was a pretty good game as well. Both guys have obviously bright future, and Daniels looked great once again. And then the Bills escaped Monday night with the 23-20 win.
Good game.
Yeah, if you like flags.
Yeah, oh my God.
22 penalties.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and the refs had a day. They made sure their name was known on Monday night. Greg Zuerlein. Hey, man. Jets fans, hey. We feel the same way. We got kickers that can't kick. Sorry.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, and we have.
Jets fan, you go to bed last night, you're all pissed off. You wake up this morning, you're like, oh my God, Devontae Adams is a Jet.
It's like, yay.
Everyone, I think, just immediately forgets about last night. It's like, I don't know, we got Devontae Adams now. We're good.
Then there's us.
Yeah.
I swear, if Neighbors isn't healthy for Sunday, we're screwed.
I can't imagine him not being. I think he'd be ready to go.
It's been 2 weeks. No way concussions last that long.
No.
He was at a concert.
I mean, it depends on what concussion, like how severe the concussion is. If it's a mild concussion like they're saying, it shouldn't. But they're not lying to us.
If he can handle being at a concert, he can handle playing. which I have no problem with. Like being at a concert, that's your
At
thing.
all. Yeah, no.
Problem.
Like I get like the head injury and stuff, but like the NFL, like Neighbors probably could have pushed himself to play, but we're just so cautious about head injuries now that it's just like we're not risking it. Let's go another week.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those things where like if it's a more important game, like a playoff game, he probably could push himself. But like with it being a regular season game against a struggling Bengals team, it's like all right, we'll sit you another night.
Yeah.
We're fully ready to go for the Eagles game.
Yeah. Okay. Football. We're done. God, that was an hour and 20 of football. Holy crap. This is going to be all you because my team isn't in the postseason still. Your team is. Plus, your Irish played extremely well.
Yeah, I'm writing that right now. It's looking pretty good. Irish 49-7. I'll run through them really quickly.
Yeah.
Passing attack looked better. Two-headed monster of Pierce and Love look great. Like, this is the offense we need to see week in and week out. If we want to go up against teams like Georgia and Texas and Oregon, this is the kind of stuff we have to see. I am a little worried about the defense now. We got the report out of nowhere yesterday that Ben Morris has a hip injury and is going to be out for the rest of the season. That's a major blow because this team was built around its secondary, and that secondary is built around guys like Xavier Watts, Benjamin Morris. Now, I have like what I've seen from the depth, but it's hard to replace somebody who has so much impact like Morrison does. So I'll have to see how this defense plays, but I am really, really nervous going forward about that missing hole. And like that could really, really hurt us. Because like when you're built around defense and one of your stars goes down, the whole thing could unravel. But that's where I am with the Irish right now. On to the Mets. Monday night sucked. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, imagine watching the Mets just, get blown out, and then you look over the small TV, and the Giants just can't do anything. It's just pure torture. But go out there, and the first batter of the game hit a home run. Francisco Lindor set the tone for that game. And then the Mets just poured it on there. They punched the Dodgers in the face, and the Dodgers didn't know how to respond at first. Like, I know they scored some runs. There's a big sixth inning. Fans were stressing throughout it, but that's the type of win you have to do. Get out to the big league and have the starter shut it down. Like we had to start Senga on Sunday night, and he proved right out of the gate that he wasn't ready to go. He threw, I think, like 40 pitches, and 30 of them were balls. That set the tone, and the Mets were going to lose this game. Manaea strikes out Ohtani, strike out Betts, and gets a lazy fly out from the third batter. That sets out that, okay, the Mets pitching is here. So, love that we stole game 2. Love that it was a split in LA. Go back to Citi Field. Place is going to be rocking. I like what the Mets. I like where the Mets are. And go back out to LA. Looks like it's going to be Manaea and Severino in game 6 and 7, which, if you're a Mets fan, you have to be feeling good about. He did. He did. I said the same thing. I said they are potentially walking in Francisco Lindor, which makes sense. Lindor's been the MVP. But Mark Vientos has been the best hitter for the Mets in this lineup. And you saw it in the clip where he's like, very touchy watch pitch to me. Okay. It's legit just, I took it personally.
It's like, why would you do that? It's like we've seen when I heard of that, I was like, bro,
I tweeted out like Vientos make them pay, and then he did with that grand slam, which is only little fact here. In the first 62 years of Mets baseball, they only had one season grand slam. In the past 6 days, they've had 2.
Well, hey, new era of Mets baseball. Shout out to Yuki, man. I know he was waiting for your Mets talk, man.
Yeah, he's definitely waiting. Like this guy. Oh,
he said, "I thought of Dirty Harry."
Dirty Harry, gonna make my day. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That's what he did. He's like, all right, let's go. Like, you want to face me? I got this.
But so series tied up 1-1. It's clear this Dodgers team, literally their weakness is pitching. Like if their hitters aren't getting anything going, they're losing. So game 3 is tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Tomorrow night, City
Okay.
Field.
So it's gonna be
rocking.
games.
Hey Mets, it's my birthday tomorrow, so if you want to give me a little birthday present, I would like a
Holy
game
shit.
3 win.
Hey, my guy. You're turning what?
I'll be 23.
Damn, I'm older than you?
Yep.
Shit, I thought you were older than me. Okay. Well, hey, I'll be rooting for the Mets too. Hey, get a dub from my boy. Who do you have tomorrow? Wait. Let me guess. Hold on. So it was Senga won. Manaya was yesterday.
And I went yesterday.
Sevy.
Sevy's on the mound. Yep, Sevy's on the bump.
I know something. Let's go. And then the Dodgers, I assume they don't have any announcements, right, on who's pitching tomorrow.
It might be Yamamoto. If not, it's a bullpen game.
I thought Yama was. Oh, it's Bueller.
Oh, it is
Well
Bueller.
then, well.
Good pitching matchup.
Oh yeah, for sure. 8-1 Mets. Yeah, Sevy versus Bueller.
Bueller's got a 10 ERA right now.
I saw that. I was like, oh well, the answer's gonna have a day. Knock on wood.
I mean,
I didn't jinx it.
He pitched to a 5 ERA in the regular season too. So the Mets got to jump out early here. I think the Mets just got to just do what they did in game 2, which is get out early and get the crowd into it. Because I know it was 1:00 on a Monday. That's a hard time.
Ew.
That Dodger, they didn't feel loud. Like it felt empty. City Field is gonna be rocking on tomorrow. And if you can jump out early and get that fan base going and get them loud, the Dodgers are gonna don't know what hit them.
You take a 2-1 lead. All the momentum's on your side.
Which, by the way, I also would love to find somebody that loves me the way the Fox broadcast loves Shohei Ohtani.
It's Joe Davis.
No, see, here's the thing. It's Joe Davis, who's the play-by-play guy in the Dodgers. We also have John Smoltz, who tormented the Mets in the 90s. It's the most anti-Mets broadcast you can get. And then they have hype videos for Shohei Ohtani before he comes up to bat. Hype videos. His third at bat of the game, they cut to a hype video of all of Shohei Ohtani. I've never seen anything like this. Oh my God, he's so great. He popped out to the first baseman. I understand Ohtani is, great. He's a superstar. But you have to be fair with a national broadcast. It has to be both ways. If you got Ohtani's up in 2 batters, I need a graphic that says Lindor's up in 2 batters or Viento's up in 2 batters. I need that. So you have to go. It can't be a Dodger broadcast. And I love Joe Davis. I think he's really good. If it's the Dodgers, you can't have him be calling games on national broadcast. It feels too much like a Dodgers broadcast.
The same amount of energy he puts towards the Dodgers is the exact same energy he should put towards the Mets because the Mets are at home for games 3 and 4. And I think I've seen some criticism.
Famous calls, but I can't have it be because Joe Davis is not going to give him the same respect.
Yeah. Let's see. 4 degrees at game time. City will throw inside the Dodgers fans over here. Yes. As they should.
Yes. Fall baseball up here is bad.
Hey. Commercial was being played nonstop.
It was. Oh my God. The stupid. I don't even know whose commercial it is. It's, I think it's New Balance, I want to say. It's it's Ohtani, it's Cameron Brink. You know what I'm talking about. It's all the stars.
Hey.
Yeah, he's right. It played constantly. It was the Apple commercial. It was Scoop. There it is. The Whopper. It was on that level of being played.
Have you seen the new Uber Eats commercial with McCaffrey and McConaughey and Rice?
Explain. I might have seen it.
I gotta show it. All right, this will be our last thing. Do you have anything else about the Mets?
If the Mets take game 3, I'll be very confident, and I'm really, really terrified that the Yankees are just going to sweep in the NLCS and they'll be waiting for us.
Okay, bet. Yeah, I look. If you guys just win tomorrow,
If you take 2 out of 3 in New York and go back to LA, needing to win one, I feel really confident.
oh yeah. All right, let me double check just to make sure.
Force the Dodgers to have to sweep us at
Perfect.
home and go against Minaya and Sevy again. Because like Minaya before that 6th inning, I was gonna tweet out like, give Minaya a blank check. He cannot leave this team. He pitched 5 solid innings, and then kind of the wheels came off a little bit in the 6th inning, but that was just a bad inning all around for the Mets.
Are you guys home for games 3, 4, and 5?
Yeah, so it's 3, 4, 5 at home, and then game 6 and 7. So theoretically, we could clinch Friday.
That would be nice.
It'd be nice to clinch the pennant in front of our home fan base, but I'm not counting on that. I really expect this to go back out to LA. I don't want it to go back out to LA, but I think it will.
One game at a time, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Win tomorrow. Then we'll focus on Thursday.
You got it. All right. This is the commercial I'm talking about. Uber Eats commercial with McConaughey and Christian McCaffrey.
Why am I still hungry?
Because you're watching football. The whole game is basically an elaborate scheme to make you buy more food. And it's working.
What are you talking about?
Dude, think about it. Turnovers, pancake blocks, scrambles. Oh, I just scored.
Yeah.
Feed me more.
Come on, McConaughey.
Come on, McCaffrey. Jabril Peppers, man. CJ Ham. Slather on some Gerard mayo and you got yourself a sandwich. Refrigerator Perry was not his real name.
You're being serious.
Yeah, they got you where they want you.
I don't think football's trying to sell you food.
Really? Come on, man. Can you go to Stanford?
I really don't.
And what are you eating, Jerry?
Rice.
Jerry's eating rice. Huh.
Wow. I don't know how to respond to that.
I personally, I don't know. I mean, the funny part for me was like, what are you eating, Jerry?
Rice at the end was funny.
Yeah, McConaughey's got a point.
There's a lot of food references.
That commercial was like, it's like low key, like it's not crazy humorous, but it's funny to me.
Dry humor, just like that, like.
I know.
Comedy in a way. I know. I like that comedy. The Office is one of my favorite shows, and that's what The Office lived on. So
I'm still working on that show, season 2.
Yeah, all right. You gotta it gets good in season 2. You gotta get to season 3 and 4. That's where it gets better.
Makes sense.
Yes, 100%. ALCS is a Mickey Mouse series, without question.
Oh yeah, Yankees. Well, we know the Yankees are going to advance.
Exactly. But like the Guardians, like no one's giving them any shot. And like we saw it last night. I watched game 1 where I was like flipping back and forth between that, the Ranger game, and the Monday night game, and I'm just like, this isn't even a ball game.
Hey. Well, hey. One New York team has to be good. And
it's not a bad time to be a New York fan. Like the Mets are good, the Yanks are good, Jets and Giants suck, but the Rangers are good. Liberty are in the finals.
Yeah,
look like they're going to be good this year. Like after a long dark decade, New York sports finally back on the up.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that one team to stop dragging us down, which is unfortunately the team that we cover. So, all right. So preview for Thursday, we'll cover the Eagles, which we will lose. That's how it goes. We'll talk about random Giants because we need something to look forward to. And hopefully Brian is back on Thursday, not stressed out, because I hope the Mets win tomorrow. Otherwise, Thursday will be a very depressing show. Yeah. Stressful and depressing. So we'll
be stressful because it's just like we have to win tonight. We can't go back to LA.
Nope.
One game.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Go Mets. Yeah, because
let's go Mets, baby.
There's no one else to root for in baseball for me. Plus, there's no one else to root for in general right now because everyone else I like sucks. Unless the Lakers prove me wrong in a couple weeks.
You're not excited to watch Brownie?
All right. No, dude. Reddick, yeah, okay. Look, I'm excited for Reddick. It's just, Mr. Bronny James Jr. I can't. I swear to God, if he touches the floor for more than 10 minutes during that first week before he gets demoted because they're going to keep him for like the first week, I swear to God, I'm going to lose my shit. He cannot play more than 10 minutes during that whole first week.
Starting 5 opening night, I'm going to laugh so hard.
Oh, no, but he'll be like one of the first guys off the bench because, well, story. Yuki's watching Ravens. Yay! I'm glad you have a team to watch. I'm seriously, Yuki, seriously.
Yeah, no, good for you.
Good for you, man. We have to freaking suffer. So, yay. All right. But yeah, that'll do it for episode 32 of the 32 podcast. This was a long one, but Davante Adams news just kind of, disrupted our flow for today. But hey, it's all fun at the end of the day. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nathan_124. You can follow Brian here at BrianPG1016. And then you can follow us on our podcast on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram at 3rd and 10 Pod. Yeah, we appreciate you guys' support. You can check out our clips on our Twitter and Instagram pages. Hopefully I get some out this week. Fingers crossed. I'm off these next couple of days as I'm recording this. So hopefully to get them out this week. But yeah, enjoy your postseason baseball, folks. Brian, good luck to your Mets. And for you Giants fans, 11 more weeks, baby. Just got to hang on for dear
Watch some
life.
old highlights. Watch the old 17, why don't you?
Yeah, watch the 2022 team. I don't just.
I don't know. I tried Dano Jones. It's too similar. Watch Eli.
Oh, yeah.
Watch Phil Simms.
Yeah.
Rock a little bit.
Yeah, maybe Geno Smith against the Raiders. No, that game was so stupid. Anyways, sorry for another day. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for listening and watching. We'll see you guys.